Hello, everybody. Welcome to DevCast, where we are inviting leaders to discuss about the difference in community and IT industry. Today, I have the pleasure to invite with us Mike Makar, head of MassMutual Romania. We are excited that MassMutual Romania has been a key partner for our DevTalks community and a great support for the community in Romania in general. So, MassMutual Romania has made significant steps in both business and also community engagement. So, we'll talk about this and the impact you have in the community, the culture you've built, and also what's like to lead such a dynamic team. Welcome, Mike, to the podcast.
Thank you, Andrea. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
We are very excited to start and talk about your journey in general. So I'll start by talking more about you launching the offices in Cluj. So you've launched in Cluj-Napoca in 2021, the second office in Romania, right?
Yep.
How things are evolving from 2021 till now? How's the team now?
Great. Thank you. And again, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Yes, Cluj was our second office. And it was funny when we came to Romania, we visited both Bucharest, Cluj. I spent a little bit of time in some other cities as well, but, essentially we decided to pick Cluj at the same time as Bucharest to start an office and start a presence because we felt so strongly about the talent there and the culture there and the people there that it was kind of a no-brainer. Most companies would come into Romania and say, okay, look, Bucharest is the largest city. Let's just put an office there. And, we're sort of off to the races. But Cluj impressed us so much that we said, oh, we have to we have to put an office here as well. And my boss at the time said, okay, we'll do it at the same time. I said, well, I'm not sure I can do that, right? Like it's going to take, let's do one first and then the other. But thankfully we got our Cluj office off the ground about 6 months after our office in Bucharest started. This was right smack dab in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes,
so
I remember.
I think as everybody remembers, those were pretty trying times and difficult times. And since that time, now we have in Romania around 550 employees. And a little bit over 100 employees now in Cluj. So the journey's been very, very well and successful here in Romania, as you know, and as we talk about all the time. And I'm excited to see where we go from here.
You are one of the fast-growing companies in Romania, actually. So you've had a long journey, but a successful journey.
Yeah.
So many experiences and great example for the community.
Yeah. And, I say this all the time, right? When we started this project, we really only expected to have, maybe 150 people in Romania. Yes. And I tell the team this all the time, that it's really because of you and the people here in Romania that we've grown so much and so fast because of the strong partnership with our US colleagues and the high quality of work that you're producing for the parent company. So this is you are the reason for our success.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with us some projects the Cluj team is doing right now in the present?
Yeah. So in largely we have our team sort of, mixed between Bucharest and Cluj and some other cities in Romania. So generally like on a project, folks will work alongside each other, but remotely, and they'll get a chance to see each other from time to time. Like maybe we have a US manager, a US leader come here, and we do some team building stuff or things like that. But largely we have mixed teams. We do have a few focus teams in Cluj. Some of the work they're doing around streaming like the Kafka stuff, right? Integrating data from multiple different disparate systems. We have an API development team component there. We have folks building the sort of the next generation of the underwriting technology for us. And, we have some cybersecurity folks there. And then we have a couple squads that we sort of dedicated to this technology that migrates insurance policies from legacy systems to more modern platforms, and then building a capability around these migrations. We have a lot of that strength in Cluj. So pretty exciting stuff the teams are working on.
Yeah, it looks vibrant from the perspective of technology stack you're using also, because you've mentioned modern, and I think that matters for the products you're developing and for the team in general, inclusion also Bucharest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The company is going through a big push to modernize technologies, get away from legacy technologies to more modern platforms, cloud technologies, architecture, moving things, migrating to the cloud and things like that. So our teams are all fully focused on a lot of these modernization and simplification efforts. Also, I don't want to forget the bearings team that we support from here in Romania. We have around 60 folks on that team, helping Bearings, the organization, which is part of MassMutual, go through a digital transformation, and we have a good component of that in Cluj.
Wow, that's a great big team.
Yeah.
Talking about the culture, culture is often described as the heartbeat of a company. Let's talk about MassMutual Romania. How would you describe the culture in your team?
Yeah, no, a great question. And I think culture is something that I think, especially in this day and age, it's one of the most important things that that's in our control as a let's say leadership team.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most impactful things, and I think what everybody looks to when they want to join a company, what's the culture, right? Their friends tell them a little bit about inside the company, how are things, like how are the people, how are you treated, things like that. And I mean, you hear too, the famous line, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I think as a company, it's incredibly important to get your culture right, what your values are and what you believe in. And we pride ourselves on an open feedback where nobody should feel that they can't speak up or that they can't, put whatever they want on a question in a Q&A in a town hall or something like that, that we're available on Slack or to any of the team members openly at any time. This stuff is really important, and we want to make sure our team members know that, they can trust us, that, we're there to support them. I talk about this all the time, that, we're here to make sure that you have, the tools, technologies, the things that you need to be successful. And it's incredibly important that we get that right? Because you've chosen to come and work with us. You have many different opportunities, but we're going to do you right by making sure that we support you and take care of you so that you can be at your best, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, our job as managers, leaders, are to get the best out of our team members and to make sure they feel their voices are heard and that they can, openly communicate with each other and, all the levels of management in the organization. Something that's felt very important for us is that we feel integrated in with the U.S. team members, the U.S. managers and teams, and we sort of plug our teams in. What I've set out to do from the very beginning is make sure that the team here feels like MassMutual employees in Romania, not some outsourcing company or some shared service center commodity type of setup that a lot of companies have. And I think we've done a really good job of this. And, I fully expect that we keep going down this path. And as a product company here, which is, I think, what a lot of people really want and what a lot of people also sort of get out of maybe outsourcing, maybe want to take a break and try something on the product side of things where we're building our own products and technology, and we enable our team members to do that so they feel closer to the actual products and customers that they're serving.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understand that, because they bring value to the product and they see their work. What initiatives and programs have you implemented to encourage the community, the sense of belonging within your company?
Yeah, so this is a good question as well. This plays into the culture, right?
Yes.
That sense of community that we're really trying to build and have people to bond, to be able to bond with. And, that was incredibly challenging as we went through the pandemic, right? Because everybody was remote. Even today we have two offices, Bucharest and Cluj. And we really only have a 1 day a week in the office policy for the folks in those cities. So this is, we of course, we want people to come together. We feel they're better together. And, we're seeing, and it's great, we are seeing more people come back in the office. So seeing people come together in that regard is great. I think teams working together make a big difference. We try to do fun things. I mean, I feel strongly that especially if it's a new team, maybe we can do a team building event where we do a scavenger hunt or something like that, where the teams can come and get to meet each other outside of what they're doing day to day and get to have some fun together and build those bonds. That's incredibly important. This year we'll have our Christmas parties. So generally what we do there is, Bucharest will have one, Cluj will have one, and then all of our remote employees, they get to pick one city and come into those cities and spend the time with their colleagues. Usually when we have U.S. leaders here, managers, their team members from the U.S. come over, we tend to get them together and organize, like a few days in the office, even folks coming to Bucharest or Cluj. And then they get to have a dinner with the group and get to know each other on a personal level and sort of build those bonds and connections. So fostering that sense of community, I think, is incredibly important. And I think some of the best, money we can spend to do that and bring people together, right? Because I think that's incredibly important, especially in these remote working times where, we still have, 1 day a week in the office, we don't have that much office space. So we sort of, we manage it by teams, and they don't get as much face time. And I think the face time is incredibly important. Not something that I want to mandate, but at the same time, having them come together naturally, because they want to be together and they want to spend time together. And I think they'll be able to be even more creative and innovative with their projects and the type of technologies that they're working on and problems that they're solving. So really, really important stuff. It's really important to us, and we want to continue to foster those great relationships and build that sense of community.
Okay, so to reconnect with the colleagues and
yeah.
Moving on to the leadership part, the one that let's say, so leading a dynamic team, I think I said it before, in not such a small feat. So you have a huge responsibility. So how would you describe your personal leadership philosophy? And how has it evolved over the years?
Good question. My leadership philosophy and style has definitely evolved over the years. Of course, started in the U.S. I spent most of my career in the U.S. But, to be honest, I've been here 3 years now in Romania, and I think I've learned a lot about leading teams and management style as well, especially from the Romanian team members. What I find great here is that the Romanians are a little more, let's say, forward than Americans are in terms of feedback, right? Okay. I think it's a welcome thing for me, where Romanians are very much like, let me tell you exactly how I feel.
Okay,
straightforward, to the point, and maybe what some Americans think would be a little on the harsh side of feedback because it's so direct. I really appreciate it, and I've gotten to know the teams, so well over these years, and I think it's been a really great thing for me to kind of
integrate it in your activity and role.
Yeah, exactly, and get to know people like that and the Romanian style. So, I think this has also helped. I think Americans had to get used to the Romanian style a little bit as well, in terms of, hey, we're in the U.S. Maybe you're not so direct, right? Maybe you're a little more
subtle.
Indirect. Yeah, exactly. So that's been interesting, and I think once you get to know the style, I think it's awesome, right? Because Americans love to know, hey, is there a problem or not, right? Like, tell me right away. Don't sugarcoat this stuff. Like, give it to me straight, right? And I think the parent company and the leadership there has really appreciated this as well in terms of the direct feedback. So I think maybe my style has changed a little bit more, where I'm willing to give a little bit more direct feedback instead of the American, let's say, politically correct answer all the time, you know? And I think your guys here really appreciate that. And in my communication with the teams, I think they also appreciate it more, the transparency and the open feedback that I give them, where I, tell them everything that I can tell them and I don't sugarcoat it. So I think on the leadership style, I think, what I've learned over the years is you do not micromanage, right? You trust people, you hire the right people for a reason, and you hire the smartest people and the best people that you can, so that you don't have to get and micromanage and get involved. And then you absolutely trust those people 100% and let them do their jobs and stay out of it. I think that is one of the I think pillars of a company and a successful leadership, is that you trust your people, you give them tough goals and challenging goals, and you let them go and do it, and you expect the best. You expect the best results, right? Also, communication is incredibly important. Open, transparent communication, and often, maybe not too often, but often, right? So that people know where you're going and, why are we going there, and what we expect of them to get there. And, ultimately, the goal that we're after. Yeah. And I think as long as you do that, and you do that frequently, then I think people understand where they're going as a company, where we're going as a company. And the last thing you want is confusion, especially when you're scaling up and building quite rapidly. And then you really want to celebrate your successes.
As often as possible.
Yeah. Let's make sure that we stop and breathe a little bit and celebrate those big milestones, celebrate those big successes, and reward people for doing a great job and going above and beyond. I think that's incredibly important as well.
Yeah. So what do you believe are the most essential qualities a successful leader in today's business environment it is?
Yeah, I think I touched upon some of those things, right? Like, for sure, it's building the right culture. You have to make sure people feel supported and, give them the tools, support, education, whatever, to be successful. Open, honest communication. Yeah. Also making sure the team knows they can give you feedback, and maybe uncomfortable feedback.
Okay.
That's incredibly important. Last thing I want to know is we're doing the wrong things, or we're not doing a good job, and everybody's afraid to tell me that. That can't happen. Like, I need to know.
Everything is fine, but we're struggling.
Don't sugarcoat it. I don't have to worry
that.
about that with Romanians. Don't sugarcoat it. So please tell me what's wrong and what we need to do to fix it. And, especially if we haven't seen this or we haven't identified it, that's incredibly invaluable feedback. And then to trust your people. I think it's incredibly important for trust, two-way trust, of course, and for us to hire the right managers and train the right managers to be able to have that trust with their people, and they feel that too. I think, sometimes trust can be a little complicated here in terms of management. We'll put it that way.
Yes.
And I feel like that is where we still have work to do with our management level.
Yes.
Where we need to fix some of these maybe trust issues. And, I think that will make a big difference.
Okay. That's a valuable insight.
Yeah.
I think for every manager and leader out there.
For sure.
So beside this advice that you've shared with us, I'm curious if we'll end our podcast today with a thought for the leaders that are aspiring to take this leap into the tech industry. What would be your advice for tech leaders now who are joining management and leading teams?
Sure. Thank you. Great question. I always say this, I usually say a lot of the same things around, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to lose. It will happen. It's not a big deal. The most important thing is that you learn from your mistakes and don't make the same mistakes twice, but take the risk, right? Because the biggest risk is not taking one. That's very important. Hard work, I think that goes without saying, but hard work is something that is always very important. And to be dedicated to finish the job no matter what. I think that's incredibly important. And sometimes you have to, when you interview the person, right, you want to make sure that you can tell that this person will be all in because it's going to be hard. It's going to be long hours.
She has to be strong. Yes, it has to be strong-willed.
Exactly. You have to be strong-willed enough that you know that this person is going to be dedicated and committed to being successful. And then really be patient too, right? If things get tough, don't quit. Never quit, right? I think this is something that, you've heard from a young age as, what is it? Quitters never win and winners never quit, right? And
well, it's true.
Yeah. And I think it's incredibly.
It's a thought that keeps you young. Motivated.
Yeah. And, I think too many young people especially are willing to throw the towel in when they don't like something or they don't like where this project is headed. Some of my best decisions were not to quit because you never know how things are going to turn out. Okay, sometimes you have to pull the plug. I get it. But I think it's important to have patience. Remember, they say patience is a virtue. Like it's important to have patience sometimes and let things play out. The harder I work, the more luck I seem to have.
Yeah.
That's a saying that, I've sort of lived by and I've kept in my, mind, heart, whatever for a long time. And, it's true. So, and I think now in this age of technology where, when I got out of college, in the mid 2000s, technology was moving pretty fast then, and we had a lot of different technologies coming. But you fast forward to today, it's incredibly fast moving, right? But I think, it's incredibly important to try things, not be afraid to fail, and if you do, move on, pick yourself back up and do it again, right? But learn from your mistakes. Exactly.
Okay. You talk so naturally about not failing, but most of us are afraid of failing.
Well, it's happened to me many times, and I'm still standing, and, it's going to happen to me in the future. And I think the most important thing is you never give up. Just don't give up.
Yeah, that's important for every project and every team we should work with.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for being here and joining us, especially to DevTalks. It was amazing for us to have this partnership and to be a strong supporter of DevTalks community in particular. We are eager to witness, and we only hope to see how you're shaping the tech industry in Cluj-Napoca, in Bucharest, and in Romanian landscape.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. It's been great to be here. I always love coming back, and had a really great time at the Bucharest event this year, and looking forward to seeing you all in Cluj soon, and very excited for that as well. So
We're
thank you very much.
Also excited. Thank you, and we'll see you in Cluj soon.
See you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.